The courtroom was already filled with quiet tension before the case even began. People in the audience expected another normal dispute, just another small claim between two individuals arguing over money. But the moment Patricia Henderson walked in, everything changed. She did not walk like a normal person entering a courtroom. She walked like someone who owned the room. Her posture was straight, her face calm and confident. Every step carried the weight of power and control. She was not just any woman. She was known as the mayor's wife, and in her city, that meant something. For years, people whispered about her influence, how one phone call from her could change decisions, how businesses either survived or suffered, depending on her mood. But none of that mattered to her in this moment, because, in her mind, this was just another easy win. Across the room sat Sarah Chen. She looked completely different. Her hands were slightly shaking, her posture careful and reserved. She held a folder tightly, like it was the only thing keeping her steady. Sarah was not powerful. She was not connected. She was just a small business owner trying to survive. Her bakery meant everything to her. It was not just a place where she sold food. It was the result of years of sacrifice. Her parents had come from another country with almost nothing. They worked long hours, saved every dollar, and built something from the ground up. That bakery was their dream. And now, it was at risk. All because of one person, Patricia Henderson. 3 months earlier, Patricia had placed an order, a custom cake, for a political event. It was not a simple order. It came with detailed instructions. Colors, design, structure, everything had to be perfect. The deadline was tight, almost impossible for a small bakery. But Sarah said yes. Not because it was easy, but because she believed it could change her business. Serving someone important could bring more customers, more opportunities. So she and her small team worked day and night. They adjusted designs, checked every detail, made sure everything matched exactly what was requested. When the cake was finished, it looked perfect. Every layer clean, every color correct, every detail exactly as planned. Sarah delivered it on time. She expected appreciation. Instead, she got humiliation. Patricia looked at the cake and immediately rejected it. She said it was embarrassing. She said it was unacceptable. She did not pay. She walked away. At first, Sarah thought it was just a difficult customer, but things did not stop there. A few days later, inspectors arrived at her bakery. They checked everything. They wrote violations. They said the place was not safe. And just like that, the bakery was closed. No proper explanation, no clear reason, just a sudden shutdown. Sarah tried to fight it. She submitted documents. She explained everything, but nothing worked. Her business stayed closed. Her savings disappeared. Her stress grew every single day, until finally, she decided to take one step. She turned to Patricia. "Tell me what happened." It was a simple question, but Patricia did not give a simple answer. She lifted her chin slightly, looked directly at the judge, and said the words that changed everything. "Do you know who my husband is?" The entire room went silent. Even the air felt heavier. It was not just what she said. It was how she said it. Like she believed rules did not apply to her. Like consequences were for other people. Sarah lowered her eyes. She had heard those words before. People in the city knew what they meant. They meant power. They meant pressure. They meant problems. But this time, something was different. Because this was not her city. This was not her system. This was Judge Judy's courtroom. And in this room, power did not work the same way. Judge Judy did not react immediately. She simply looked at Patricia, focused, unmoved. And in that moment, it became clear. This was not going to be an easy win. This was the beginning of something much bigger. The silence in the courtroom did not last long. Judge Judy leaned slightly forward, her eyes fixed on Patricia Henderson. There was no anger in her face, no emotion that could be easily read, just focus, the kind of focus that made people uncomfortable. She spoke in a calm, steady voice. What was wrong with the cake? It was a simple question, direct, clear, impossible to avoid. But Patricia did not answer directly. She adjusted her posture, lifted her chin again, and began speaking in a tone that sounded more like a speech than an answer. She said the cake did not meet her standards. She said it was not suitable for an important political event. She said it would have embarrassed her in front of important guests. Her words were smooth, confident, carefully chosen, but something was missing. Details. Judge Judy did not interrupt immediately. She'll let Patricia speak. She let her continue explaining, until the explanation became too long, too vague. Then she cut in. What exactly was wrong with it? Not your opinion, not your status, not your standards. What was wrong with the cake? The room became quiet again. Patricia paused. For a brief moment, her confidence slipped, just slightly, but enough to notice. She said, the design was off. She said, the colors looked different. She said, the overall presentation was not what she expected. It sounded like an answer, but it still lacked something. Proof. Judge Judy turned her head towards Sarah. Miss Chen, do you have photos of the cake? Sarah quickly stood up, her hands still slightly shaking, but this time there was something else in her expression. Hope. She opened her folder carefully. Inside were printed photos, clear, detailed images. She handed them to the bailiff, who passed them to the judge. Judge Judy looked down at the photos, one by one, slowly, carefully. The courtroom waited. No one spoke. No one moved. After a few seconds, she looked up. Her expression did not change, but her next words carried weight. This cake is well made. She looked again, checked another photo. Everything appears clean, balanced, exactly as described. Then she asked the next question. Did you approve this design before it was made? Sarah immediately answered, yes, Your Honor. She reached into her folder again, this time pulling out printed messages, text, conversations, clear records, dates, times, responses. Judge Judy took them, read silently for a moment, then looked back at Patricia. You sent a message saying it looks perfect. You confirmed the design. You confirmed the details. Do you deny this? The question landed hard. Patricia shifted in her seat, for confidence was no longer steady. She tried to respond. She said, the approval was based on earlier images. She said, the final product looked different in person. She said, lighting can change things. It was an attempt to explain, but it did not sound strong. Judge Judy did not raise her voice. She simply asked another question. So your eyes see something completely different from the camera. Another pause, longer this time. Patricia did not answer immediately. The courtroom could feel the pressure building. Judge Judy leaned back slightly, still calm, still controlled. Then she said something that shifted the entire direction of the case. In a room full of people, at a public event, in a time where everyone has a phone, not a single photo exists showing this so-called bad cake. She let that sink in. No event photos, no guest photos, no evidence from anyone, only your claim. Then she placed the photos back on the table, neatly, with purpose, and added, but we do have clear photos showing a well-made cake, and clear messages showing you approved it. The difference was obvious now. One side had proof, the other had words. The audience began to react quietly. Whispers, small movements, people exchanging looks. They could see where this was going. Patricia could feel it too. Her posture changed. Her hands were no longer steady. The control she walked in with was starting to slip. Sarah remained standing for a moment, still holding her folder, but now her shoulders were slightly higher, her breathing more stable. For the first time since entering the courtroom, she did not look defeated. Judge Judy looked at both of them again, then spoke clearly. This is not complicated. A product was ordered. A product was delivered. The product matches the request. The product was approved. Payment was not made. She paused, just for a moment, then added, that is a problem. The words were simple, but the impact was strong, because now the case was no longer about opinion. It was about facts, and facts were not on Patricia's side. But Judge Judy was not finished, not even close, because the cake was only the beginning. The real issue had not been addressed yet, and everyone in the courtroom could feel it. Something bigger was coming.